Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is solving trinomials and x squared equations, okay? 2/11/2020. Okay, so solving polynomials. Here's something you need to know, okay? So if it's x squared, there will always be two answers. Always. If it's x cubed, we're going to have three answers. And then x to the fourth, four answers, x to the fifth, so forth and so on. Now we've got to be a little bit careful about this because sometimes, and we won't talk about it a whole lot in here, sometimes we'll get answers that are imaginary answers, okay? We're not going to talk about imaginary answers today, okay? But know that x squared is going to have two answers, and x cubed is going to have three answers, okay? And so forth and so on, okay? So example one. We know there's going to be two answers, so what we need is two equations. Two answers, right? So we need two equations. All right, that's easy. I have two equations. I like this.
Could it be more, though?
Yeah. It can be more. So in this example, example one, I see two x's, don't I? So I'm going to get two answers. So I'm going to make what I call my mini equations. I call them mini equations, okay? So I'm going to have an x plus 2 equals 0 and an x minus 5 equals 0. I'm just going to solve. There's my mini equations. Minus 2 minus 2x equals negative 2. There's one answer. Okay?
What do you do when there's a number on the front?
I'm going to get there. You're ahead of me. Okay? Plus 5 plus 5, x equals 5. Now, here's why it works. And it really will make sense to you. Okay? Hi, Gloria.
But is that the answer to the whole equation?
Yeah, you're way ahead. I like that you guys are so ahead, okay? Now think about this, okay? Listen. 0 times anything. 0 times anything.
Zero.
Anything times 0.
Zero.
Good. So if this is negative 2, this is 0, right? So it doesn't really matter what this is because the whole thing is
Zero.
right? If this one is 5, 5 minus 5 is?
Zero.
And 0 times this doesn't really matter. It's 0. So both answers will work to make the problem equal 0. Peach?
Wait,
So the next
couldn't
one
you
would be
say then
zero?
technically that,
How?
couldn't you technically say that then one of them doesn't, that one of them, like just say the first one equals, the first x equals negative 2, but couldn't you then say the second x equals like 500 or something, because if it's multiplied by 0, then it's.
So you just need to find one of them. All you need to find is one of them.
Yes.
Will we
and
get docked if we don't do the work of the other point of the other?
no,
thing?
yes and yes. So check it out. I like 5's easiest to check, right? So if I put, I'm going to answer your question. So I have to go 5 here and 5 here. I get 7 times 0, don't I? Which is what? 0, right? And then the same thing on the negative 2, right? So if I do the negative 2, you guys are asking great questions. So if I do the negative 2, I got negative 2 plus 2 times, it's doing it to me again, times negative 2 minus 5. I'm going to get 0 times negative 7. What's the answer? Still 0, right? So Penelope, you stated it really well. We have to find both, and really, you guys can see you don't have to show a lot of work here, okay? Two answers. It's easy. You guys agree? So I've probably...
One of those. One answer would you like 0 or?
I want both answers. I want that one and the answer. I want both answers. You need both answers. You have to have both answers. Make sense? Because they both work. Because the question is, what values x? I mean, it doesn't say this, but mathematics says what values of x will make this expression equal to 0. What values of x? Well, one value would be negative 2, and the other value would be 5. Does that make sense? Yeah, what answer? So let's take a look at number 2. Example 2, do your mini equations. So my mini equations are x plus 5 equals 0 and 2x minus 1 equals 0, okay?
We have to show our work.
No, you're going to get to the point where you probably don't need to show your work. minus 5, right down. I mean, obviously x equals negative 5. Everybody agree with that? You can do that in your head, right? Here, if I go plus 1, I get 2x equals 1. Divide by 2, x is 1/2. I need both answers, but both of these are values of x that make it 0. Okay? You starting to get it? Okay, now, example 3. Still 2 answers. Still 2 answers. So what I'm going to do is I need 2 equations. Now I'm going to get the same answer twice, but we're still going to call it 2 answers. And we're going to see graphically why this is important, but not today. 2x minus 6, 2x minus 6, right, equals 0. You see the double? I have to write it twice, because quantity squared means 2x minus 6 times another 2x minus 6. I wrote it twice. Now my mini equations are really a 2x minus 6 equals 0 and another 2x minus 6 equals 0. Now you're going to stop me. So wait a minute, Mr. Davies.
There's only one answer.
There you go. I was waiting for that. You're going to say, Mr. Davies, it's the same answer twice. You guys agree?
Yes.
And then we're going to call that eventually a double root, and you're going to know why I'm going to call it a double root eventually. For right now, let's get both answers, even though it's the same answer twice. Okay, so plus 6, 2x equals 6, divided by 3. So x equals 3, x equals 3. It's the same answer, yes. Dallin, it is one answer, but we're going to call it twice. And when there's a reason why. Yeah.
Wait. Oh, okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys see it's really 3 twice. And I don't care if you guys say it's one answer for right now, that's fine. 3. Or if you guys want to go along with me and say, hey, Mr. There's 2 answers, it's 3 and 3, okay? And I'm going to show you why it's important to say 2 answers eventually, okay? So, example 4, 3 answers. How many x's do you see?
403.
I see 1, 2, 3 x's. So I'm going to have 3 answers. So I need 3 answers. So I'm going to need 3 equations.
You could just say the first x by 3 equals 0.
So I'm going to go mini, yeah, and you have to be patient with me. I show every step. I'm going to do my mini equations, yes, and I know some of you are not going to do this and you're going to skip what I do, right? Agree? I'm going to say 3x equals 0. I'm going to say 2x plus 5 equals 0. And I'm going to say 2x minus 5 equals 0, okay? Humor me, okay? I'm going to show every step because that's just what I do, okay? So I've got my 3 sets of x's, right? So first mini equation, second mini equation, third mini equation, okay? Now I'm going to solve. Divide by 3, divide by 3. 0 divided by 3 is 0. That is an answer. 0 is a number. That's an answer. Don't throw zeros away. That's an answer. 0 is a great number, right? Minus 5, minus 5. I've got 2x equals negative 5, right? Divide by 2, divide by 2. Austin, we can either say negative 5/2, which is great. A lot of kids like negative 2.5. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay. Third answer, plus 5, 2x equals 5, right? Divide by 2, 5/2, or positive 2.5. Now I'm skipping some steps in the solving because I assume by now you know how to solve for x, right? Say yes, Mr. Davies, we know how to solve for x. Okay, if we don't know how to solve for x, then you didn't do your job last semester, last year in algebra, right? Okay, turn the page. Okay, now, this one really does have 2 answers. It really does. But we need 2 equations. We need 2 equations. So to get 2 equations, we're going to common factor 2 equations. We're going to get 2 equations by common factor. Now we just did this 10 minutes ago. Okay, so real quick. What do they have in common?
X.
They have an x in common? Yes. What else do they have in common?
5.
A 5. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so you common factor. They have a multiple of 5 in common, and they have an x in common. So if I take a 5x out of a 5x squared, I have an x plus 5 goes into 10 2 times. Okay, and you can always double check. You can always go this times this if you want to check to make sure you did it right. Because I should get a 5x squared plus a 10x. Okay, everybody thumbs up?
Wait,
right here, right?
2 x's. With x to the power equals 2 x's.
Yeah, Joey,
Okay.
you sure?
I took one x out of it.
Right, right. So now I've got my many equations. So now I have my many equations, okay? So we're going to go, all right, 5x equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0, right? Now we're going to solve, okay? So 5x means 5 times x. Divide by 5, divide by 5. 0 divided by anything is 0. There's one answer. Minus 2, x equals negative 2. Okay, there you go.
So you're just solving for
That's all I'm doing. Yep. These are the two values that will make x plugged in. These are the two values, if I plug them in, that will make the expression 0. These are the two x values, when plugged in, will make it equal to 0. Okay? All right, last but not least, here's the trick. Put a 1 here. Put a 1 right there. Put a 1 right there. It's going to help you, okay? Put a 1 there. It's an invisible 1, but let's put it back and make it reappear. So what do these two terms have in common? A 1 and what else?
X.
A 1x. So if I take out a 1x, what's left inside?
x.
3
3x
equals
minus
3x.
X minus
Awesome. Now we've got our many equations, right? Right? We've got our many equations. Many equations. So I'm going to go, okay, 1x equals 0 and 3x minus 1 equals 0, right? How am I doing? Divide by 1 answer is 0. And the other answer is plus 1, I get a 3x equals 1. Divide by 3, and I get a 1/3. How's that? Okay, what do you think? Are you here?